That's the post office. When I was little, we used to go down and catch June bugs off of that beautiful grass and that beautiful hedge. This film was made in 1947 by Marcus Whitaker and Herbert Boeing. It was made as a commercial film and sponsored by the people that you will see, the businesses that you will see in the film. Today, 40 years later, in 1987, Laverne Graham, the assistant director, and I, Fred Isaacs, the director of the J.L. Clay Senior Citizen Center, we are trying to put the sound and the music to the film. This is a fundraiser for the center.
There's the courthouse.
You see the monuments in the background?
On the square, Downtown Franklin.
That must be the old high school, is that correct?
That's a high school,
and that
yeah.
cannon was on the square.
It's still there.
A lot of old historical places in the background. I believe that is BGA.
That's the home of the W.W. Harlins.
Of course, the music is no longer there. We're putting new music in, trying to get the old ones. That was the Nashville Bridge. That's
the Lily Mill in the background.
And that's the Harlinsdale Farm.
Right, home of the famous Midnight Sun.
That is the Church of Christ. That was before it became the 4th Avenue Church of Christ, because that was the only church in town. Now that is dead gone. Did always got that last puff off that cigarette and always late going into church. If you look closely, you can see Mary Ann Cook, Bill Harlan, Joe Jeanette with Jane Jeanette and Patty Andrews, Margaret Peterson and Jimmy Cook. You'll see a lot more that you'll know.
There's Joe with little Jane and Patty Andrews.
They were coming out the Sunday school exit. Now that building has been destroyed, been torn down, except for the back part.
It looked like it must have been March. Look at that wind. Or a storm coming up one.
That's a good looking automobile.
Yep.
Lovelace and Dale. Now that is where Sparkman Jewelry is located now, on Main Street. It was a very busy place at that time.
Well, there's Francis Hay and Elmer Dale and Christine, his wife. They're looking over the old records.
I'm sure that a lot of people are going to be able to recognize the uncles and aunts and brothers and sisters and grandparents.
The ones we don't know, you will know.
That was an uptown outfit at that time.
I love looking at those old records.
Those great big ones on it. What was it, 33 or 78?
I don't know, but I like them. There's a Glenn Miller record. Margaret O'Brien.
I guess we bought a record in Franklin. That's where we bought it, wasn't it?
That's where you had to buy them. There's Nancy Peck and Kenneth Powell.
You see Elizabeth Frazier, and there's Miss Smokey Frazier.
Right.
That's Will English, John Wallace, is Trav Wallace's father in the big hat. That's Jim North and Will English, and that is Ward Lovelace. Joe Bowman, that's the year that Jody was born.
And that's
Harris Irving, and you see him bring him back. Now that's a good picture of Harris. He was later the policeman, chief police in Franklin.
There's Virginia Swinney, longtime employee of Williamson County Bank.
Dorothy Petway in the rear. Sarah
Coleman and Miss Sam Church.
And that's Dorsey Crockett.
If you look closely, you'll see Frances Spencer. There she is. There's Frances. James coming out the door. And now Frances and James Culberson. And that's Douglas Harper.
Now that's James Culberson in the background. And if Herbert will raise it, film up a little bit, now that looks good. That's great of it.
That's good.
You don't look any older than you did 40 years ago.
Not much. Did they wrap bread back then?
No,
or did we take it like that?
We could put them in a sack and took them home.
I think so.
That was Uptown equipment.
Right.
They were mighty proud of that. That's Clara Lunn, Ms. Paul Lunn, better known as Toodley. Ain't she pretty?
Still pretty. She's still pretty.
Now, Toodley said she didn't gain any weight until she started working there, and I can see why.
She didn't gain all that much weight.
No, but that's what she said.
That's what she said, I know.
Look good.
I'm hungry. Now that's Polly's shop, and it was along where Pip Printing, somewhere along in where Pip Printing is right now. Polly was the niece of Grace Trammell. Grace Trammell owned Grace's in Nashville, and the shop was managed by Jenny West, Miss Tom West. And it was only here about 4 or 5 years because some of us couldn't afford those dresses. They were beautiful, really beautiful. Angie Reagan, longtime postmaster out at Thompson Station, still worries that she didn't buy a dress that cost $50 back then. Of course, Angie buys most anything she wants now, but she still worries about that $50 dress she couldn't afford then.
That was really expensive for Frank.
That was expensive. Polly is now Mrs. Murphy, and she and her husband have Bradford's Furniture Store in Green Hills.
Yeah, that lasted about 4 years, didn't it? But it just got really too expensive for Franklin at that time.
But it was a beautiful store.
They're showing the stock because they did buy it for that purpose.
Right.
To be shown in the theater, and we all went down to see it, and everybody looked to see themselves in the film. Of course, we called it the picture show, didn't we? It wasn't a theater.
It's about the only thing we do, go to the picture show.
I know I didn't buy my wife many things out of there.
I was like Angie Reagan. I had to wait a few years before I could afford it, too.
I know you can't afford it now. At our salary?
On our salary. Not many.
All right, that's Clyde McGee's place, and it's located out on Hillsborough Road, just a couple of blocks off of Main Street.
Now that's Miss Clyde McGee, Mary McGee, and Reba Smith, Miss Robert Smith.
That was Clyde McGee's body shop.
Right.
It looked like he done more than body. Oh, his part. No, it wasn't a body shop. It was parts place. That's Ernest Everson. That's Marshall Cook. Hey, Marshall, come up. Look at me. That's it. Isn't that good?
That's good, Marshall.
He's the father of Man Kraut.
Right.
And Billy Cook. Now that's Clyde McGee. That's Everson again. That's Clyde Beasley. That's Clyde doing a little welding there.
And everybody knows that's Robert Smith.
Hello, Rabbit. That's Ed Heathcock. I hope he got that put back together. And that's Victory Dry Cleaners, located up on Columbia Avenue, right across the street from the Handy Hardware, I believe.
Somewhere along in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's Barbara Sedberry Turns. And that's Lou McLean Huff.
Mrs. George Giles Sr. That's good of her.
That's really good.
And George Giles Jr. is coming up, and it's a great picture of George. Looked like he just ready to speak to us. You know, George was killed on Christmas Eve in an automobile wreck out on Hillsborough Road, and it was a very tragic, sad place for the town.
If you'll watch closely now, you'll see, coming up in the rest of this part of the film, Fanny Clark, Eva Polk, and that's Jocko Polk's mother, Miss Graves, J.L. Walford, Molly Irving Crunk, Miss German Macmillan, John Roberts, and the last one will be Billy Cook.
That's J.L. Walford. That's John Roberts. Now that's Billy Cook. Ain't that good?
That's
Looks like
good.
it's just yesterday.
Looks good.
That is the Franklin High School. That's Riley Lawson. He was a great janitor. Everyone loved him. And standing up there, that's Morgan Lynch standing beside him.
Some of the others you might be able to pick out are Ann York Robinson. And of course, you know Miss Johnny Ball. And Ernest Niles. J.W. Peach. And Mr. Daley Thompson. And I'm sure you can pick out many more.
The ones that didn't show up that day must have been playing hooky. They're going to tell on them.
Like Fred Isaacs did many times.
That's Miss Coughlin, and that's Miss Johnny Ball.
Is that Mr. Thompson?
He was a great guy. That's a good picture of the old high school that later burned.
Right. It's terrible that it lost so many of its records when it burned.
Now this is a Shamrock Grill. It was better known as Red's Place. It's located on Main Street, just up and now part of the Williamson County Bank building. That's Bobby Bradford and Ralph Mop Warren. And that's Dorothy Campbell Bone. Chadwell Bone, Martha Chadwell Bone.
Coming up is Benny and Louise Tomlin, the parents of Margaret Hood. There they are.
Now you're going to see Charlie Beard and Ralph Warren again. That's Charlie Beard. Now I believe Herbert told Warren to get busy, and he's watch him move around there. Now he's posing.
It's the fastest he ever worked in his life. This is the Methodist Church on Fifth Avenue, where it's been all of these years, and it's really steeped in history.
There's Jerry Pollard on your left over there. Mr. O.C. Hatcher right there. That's Dave Darnell.
And there's Mr. Thompson.
A lot of people in there are going to be able to be recognized.
Right, and Ms. Robbie Morton, Ms. W.R. Morton, Marjorie Morton's mother.
Mm-hmm. Now this is Britton and Fristow. It's located down on 5th Avenue, I believe, in 4th Avenue. 4th Avenue, right where they, right between the two furniture stores now.
Right. There's Hannah Evans and Miss Fristow. That's so good. That's really good of Hannah. Look at Hannah.
That's Herbert Bowen and W.B. Fristow. I believe every man smoked cigarettes back then. Now, Herbert bound to be posing because he had no idea about seed, chicken feed, or anything like that.
But he's a great actor. Look at him.
He's great, yeah. Coming up that old alley, I delivered groceries on a bicycle. Many times rode up through that alley. Working for Jeanette.
I was writing up the tickets that you delivered.
Yeah. That's Harry Hicks on the fire truck. Probably the only one we had back there then. That's Oscar Garner and Ewan Frazier. Ewan later became the sheriff. That's really good of Oscar. Right.
Good.
And that's O.B. Garner getting into the vehicle, and highway patrolman. I do not know who the other gentleman is, but that is a Tennessee Highway Patrol car.
There's Jenkins, Ben Franklin stores. That's a Walmart of 1947.
Yeah, and then that was a West 5 10-cent store.
There's Miss Jenkins is putting on a necklace on Miss Thomas Witherspoon. And Mr. Jenkins is looking on.
A lot of these people, we just can't remember their names.
No.
We know them as well as we do at home, but it's hard to do.
That's real good of Mr. and Miss Jenkins. Straighten his tie, Miss Jenkins. That did it. That did it.
Look, buddy, I'll leave it alone, man. The Williamson County Bank. Located where it is now and just been remodeled. You get to see the old building as it was. That's the only one in the branches. That was on Main Street only back there then, wasn't it? That's Mr. E.E. Byers. That's Joe Pinkerton. Hello, Joe.
That's Bass Jefferson. Reba Smith. Reba's Tickle.
Yeah. Now that's Fuller Arnold. Watch Fuller operate that bookkeeping machine. He can work on it.
Ruth Smith.
That's good of her.
Real good.
Fuller again. Look at the pencil behind the ears. That's Mary Elizabeth Hoover, and she's still there, and she's a great gal.
Absolutely great. Ewan Vaughn.
That's Billy Sullivan. Now that's John McCord. Now I think all bankers wore pencils behind the ears. That's a symbol, I'm sure.
I believe it is, of bankers.
Yeah. Yeah, they all coming down from the old upstairs. Must have been time to go home.
That's just a a brief picture of the Baptist church. It must have been on a weekday because the people were not there. Beautiful church.
See the two doors where the women went in one side and the men went in the other? Now that's Pat's Cafe.
There goes Pat.
That's located up right off of 5 Points, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Yeah. There's Pat again. That's Mr. Ray Stevens.
And Margaret, you can see Margaret in there she comes. Margaret Fagan. Pat's busy.
Yeah, it must have been right at luncheon. That's Mr. Bob Corlett with a white squirrel. I wonder if the health department let him bring it in.
I doubt it.
But everybody seemed to enjoy it. I don't think anybody died from it.
Oh, I think it was fantastic.
Now that's Grady Petite sitting on the edge.
There's a white squirrel again. That's cute. Margaret's fixing her hair.
Yeah, that's good, a picture of Grady.
That's good
That's
of
Pineapple
Margaret.
Sunday for a quarter. That's pretty cheap. Now that's Elmo Waters. Looks like Pat fed a good lunch, most especially for a working man like Elmo was. Now that's, we believe it's trick photography, although Pat did have a twin brother, but they said they didn't look that much alike.
Now that's Ruth Bowen Ladd.
Rusty Wilkerson. That's Slim Finley. That's Tom Pointer. Come back, Tom. Herbert Plant. That's Shaggy Buchanan. That's Albert Ragsdale, horse. Oscar Garner. That was a busy place. And that is Dorsey Crockett again.
There's Julia, Jeanette, and Jane. And there's Julia close up.
That's my
Real
sister.
And with Jane, isn't she cute? And Perk Jeanette. And Lou Wilkerson. And there's Jane again. And Herman Sawyer.
And Mr. J.E. Hall, that's Corinne Edgman's father. Insurance for a long time. That's Gray Drug Store. And it's located exactly where it is now in the downtown store. And there's Frank Gray, a fine gentleman. The next one you will see be William Bilbo Miller. Hello, Bilbo. Mr. McMahon. Now, Mr. McMahon got a little nervous being on the thing and spilt a little bit of the mess in there. Want to be charged for it.
Better clean it up.
Laughing about it. That's cute. And that's the whole crew. Now, Bilbo, I wish you'd get busy and quit looking on.
He always helped you when you needed him, though.
Oh, he was great. He was.
Absolutely.
That Herbert said in the drinking that Coca-Cola. He always got a little activity in the movie.
And Mr. and Miss Thomas Witherspoon.
Here comes Robbie Huddleston.
Yeah, there's Robbie. Ruby Alexander. Frances Hayes, she's worked there a long time.
That's when they had the fountain, wasn't it?
Right.
Now this is a city service station, and from that must be Ernest Beasley, and we think the other boy that was running this one, it was Walker.
I think this was located about where the Metropolitan Federal Savings and Loan is right now. And the body shop was behind the service station.
Yeah, that's R.B. Rainey's
body shop.
Yeah. That's the city service station. Now that, if you watch a minute, you can see that on the awning back there, it shows Beasley and Walker. There's Walker, see?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now there's R.B. Rainey's body and paint shop. And there's R.B. Rainey, or Bob Rainey, talking to Rufus Shedd. Now the city service must have had the engine work, and I guess Rainey, I'm sure Rainey had the body
Right.
shop. There's R.B. Isn't that good?
That's good.
He don't look at him older than that now.
He looks great right now.
That's the grammar school at 5 Points. It later burned.
There were
Mary Ellen Hendricks.
and Eileen Davis. There'll be some good pictures of them coming up.
We didn't catch it. And Herbert playing around here.
All the boys on one side. There's
That-
Mary Ellen Hendricks. There'll be a real good picture of Eileen Davis, too.
Mm-hmm. There she is.
There she is. That's great.
The children played, there she is again.
That's
Isn't it
good. That's good.
The boys played on one side of the sidewalk, the girls played on the other side.
There come the girls.
Now we're back to the National Store, downtown Main Street.
That's Hazel Stanfield Clark and Catherine Elliott. And Clyde Daniels. Clyde was a manager for a long time at National Store.
And Miss Blanche Cool. Miss Cool, turn around so we can see you. I don't know who she's waiting on.
And there's Miss Blackburn. That's Kenneth Blackburn's mother when she turned in the plaid coat. Yeah, that's Miss Blackburn.
And she,
And Miss, let's see, Ruby Alexander, and that's Miss Roy Jackson. And Margaret Lampley.
that's Reedy Edgman. And he is waiting on, trying to choose on Margaret Andrews, the wife of Shotgun Andrews. And I believe that's the year they got married.
1947.
And she might have been trying on a...
Wedding suits.
Maybe.
Margaret, don't kill us.
That's
There
Clyde.
goes Clyde.
Mhm. That'd be as cool. You can see it good now. She's talking to Rena Marlin, and that is
Reedy.
Reedy Edgman again.
And there's Miss Grady Gardner,
Mm-hmm.
Formerly Ellen Smith. And Ms. McGraw is coming up.
You got Miss McGaw.
Being waited on by Miss Cood.
Yeah. All right, so Franklin Laundry. That's Mary Beasley. Mary's in the hospital now.
Oh, I didn't know that. At the time we were making this tape.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Mary Elizabeth Grimes Langford.
That's Fred Anderson waiting on. Now that's good of JC.
That's great.
He looked just like he did.
Just like it looks now. Saw him Saturday.
40 years later. He's talking to James Bond. There were several laundries back here then because there wasn't any.
Nobody had a washing machine.
Not many around this part.
Coming up, you'll see Tootsie Hoover McKee. And pretty soon you'll see Bessie Grimes. Everybody knows Bessie Grimes. There she is.
I'm sure JC will recognize all of them.
Yeah, JC will know them all.
They sent everything to
Everything to the laundry.
including the handkerchiefs. James again.
Yeah.
Really good. He got a pencil. He thought he was a banker. I guess all businessmen carried a pencil. That's the Episcopal Church. Like I said, it was made during the day, and so they didn't have any activity around it.
Beautiful church.
Mm-hmm. Old church. This is late at night at the Lions Club. Now watch quickly, and you can see Mrs. J.B. Aiken, Mr. and Mrs. R.V. Aiken, Cornelia, Earl Beasley, right there, Miss George Bell, Ruth Bowen Masters. That's Bob Cawthon and Mrs. Cawthon. That's Ernest Niles and Mrs. Niles. Mr. and Mrs. Glenn Eddington. Don Emerson. That's Mr. and Mrs. Burroughs Jenkins. That's Mr. Billy Henry, Steve and Lucille Murray, and Miss Joe Pinkerton. That was Johnny Smith there, too. Ruth Sewell be coming up, and Bob, and then you will see Mr. and Miss Johnny Smith, Mr. and Miss Gerald Smithson, Miss Hugh Chanel, Mr. and Mrs. Joe Spencer, Freeland West, J.W. and Florence Greer, Mr. and Mrs. Felix Truitt, Mr. and Mrs. Ed Warren, Mrs. Joe Trice, Mr. Trice right there, and Mrs. Daley Thompson. Now this is your Natchez School.
You'll see two people come out of that school, Annie Spencer and J.R. Watkins, who was the principal at that time, and they are both now on the board of the J.L. Clay Senior Citizen Center. Great board members.
And that was the only black school in Franklin at that time.
If you look closely, you'll see Dorothy Bright
and Professor Kane Lee. That's Mr. Watkins. And that's Annie Spencer. See, moving out, Annie. I heard her playing with the camera again, but you can see Mr. Watkins.
Yes, I
and
Mr. Watkins.
Professor Lee on your left over there. That's your Harvard National Bank. How about that 4%? All right. Look at the car parked on the wrong side of the road. How about Stuart Campbell?
That's good. J.W. Greer.
That's good at J.W.
That's real good at J.W.
Hugh Chanel.
And Mr. Zan Dodd. Everybody remembers Mr. Dodd with his wagon and his mules.
And Hugh Chanel was a fine gentleman.
He certainly was.
That's Dan Haley. Watch him throw that money out there.
And Martha Reynolds in the background. There's Martha.
That's May Sawyer Sanders.
And Ruth Helm.
This is Lyda North. Oh, she was great in the bank. Loved it.
Certainly was. Great.
That's Betty Isaac Whitley, the daughter of Alexis and Cortez Isaacs. And there's Mary Margaret Clark Marley.
And Sidney Hart.
That was only a pause. Oh. All right, this is your log court. That's
Norman Smith and Braden Mathis.
Court look pretty on the inside and clean. I don't know one of the mistakes of as being professional announcers, don't you?
We're going to become professional.
If we ever live through
We
this.
need to take some lessons.
How about the tablecloth?
I like places with tablecloths.
It was well furnished, wasn't it?
Nice.
This Norman again. Now this is William Gosey, better known as Prim. And Prim and John Hughes, who you will see in a moment, worked at West Point for many, many years. You remember when you could pull up beside West Point and they would come out and you roll your window down, they'd put your little tray in?
It's hard to remember that far back.
But
when they bring it out to the car and put the tray.
you had to save up a long time to get that money.
Right.
That's Rosie's 5 and 10 cent store. Now they're located across the street from Gray's, wasn't it? Just about
It's somewhere along in there.
on Main Street. Most of the places were on Main Street.
Now that's James A. Taylor. He was the manager. Fanny Myrtle Smith. Let's see your face, Fanny Myrtle. Come on. There she is.
Yeah, they're showing off this stock. It was just commercial, that's all.
It was a big store.
Yeah. Had the best candy in the world. Ooh, I used to love to go in there. I remember had some chocolate covered coconut. Ooh, that was great.
If you will watch now, you'll recognize Ruth Reed Buchanan, Gusty Reed Pierce,
Hey, that's it, Candy. This fella, I remember him. I don't know his name, but he was a good rock bass.
and a really good picture of Marianna Reagan Tomlin. There she is. She still lives at Thompson Station. And Lillian Smith, and Ruth Reed, Sarah Fox. You may know some of the rest of them. There's Fanny Myrtle again.
I don't know that old gentleman.
Now these girls are Mary Ann Jones Frost and Faye Jones Williams. They're daughters of Virginia Dickerson. She was Miss Jones, married Woody.
That's your 5 points. That must have been the flag in the courthouse yard. No, in the post office yard. That's 5 points.
Oh, glory.
That's Reliant Realty service station up on Columbia Avenue, approximately a block off Main Street, off of 5 points. That's Reliant.
That's good, Rolling.
That was right across the street there from Farnsworth on Columbia Avenue.
I had forgotten Farnsworth is up
Yeah,
there.
that's Farnsworth building, see it?
Yeah.
That's Sam Ball. They said Sam to wash cars barefoot, winter and summer. Didn't get in too big a hurry either, did he? Demonstrating some of the stocks as they got.
It's interesting to see how the stock was displayed back in
Yeah,
47.
he had a good supply. That was a good filling station.
It was a good filling station.
That's really good of Robert. I can't tell where that car's from. It's not from Franklin. All right, that's your Franklin Theater.
Nighttime. That's Dot Hood.
Miss Gerald Hood.
Miss Gerald Hood, Miss Ezel Blankenship.
That's Herbert Bowen. That's really good.
Oh, that's great.
Mr. Whitaker playing with him a little bit, turned him upside down.
Yeah. And that's Ruth Bowen. She's now Ruth Masters.
That is Cecil Vine. Smile, Cecil. That's good. That's Sam Johnson. See the bank night, $100 bank night. They had once a week. They had it out. That's Alan Windrow. You went down there and they drew a ticket and you get a winner. Ooh, it was great. That's Tommy Helm, J.C. Anderson, Herbert Bowen. What's playing on the theater?
Hi, Barbaree.
All right, that's Doc Bond. He's Standard Farm Store. George and Mrs. Jerry Fly.
Miss Blankenship. And Ruth Bowen.
That's a picture of the square again. There was a lot of activity going on around there. You're taking off up Main Street, don't you? That's the courthouse again. And we got a great picture coming up of Mr. Turley Hafner, a very fine gentleman.
That's a hardware store. Was that Mr. Trice's hardware store?
That's Turley Hafner. That's Tommy Helm. That's Buford Blackman. That's good of both of them.
That's great.
Oh, that's great.
That's George Bell.
That's Billy Yates on the bicycle, son of Claude Yates.
Catherine Sawyer, Mary Ruth Fagan Chester, and Betsy Church.
She was a very great familiar, and I just wish you could call her name. I know a lot of people let her know who that is.
I hope they'll tell us.
Yeah, I do too. That's Jeanette's Market. That was right after Julia and Perk Jeanette had sold it to Ward Lovelace.
That's Miss J.M. Leggett and Louise Marlin.
That's L.B. Anderson. That's Ella Scott, better known as Scotty.
She worked for both Julia and Ward Lovelace.
That's Ward there. Oh, that's at the Uptown. Oh, they were hard to clean. I worked for Julia Jeanette. That's Martini. And it's really William Martin. We don't ever know Martini.
Martini. And that's Huell Sullivan.
That's a fancy meat shop. And it was great food all the way through. It was a fine store.
It was a good store.
There's William McLemore, and better known as Hambo. Now that is Jerry Buford. Jerry was one of the fastest chicken pluckers in town. And he plucked them so much and so fast there wasn't much left of the chicken.
That's the way they did it.
Looks, chicken getting small all the time.
Those are Dick Garner's children, aren't they cute? And there's Julia Jeanette.
And Bobby Bradford and Gerald Hood was in the rear of him. That's Felix Truitt.
And Mary Leland Dozier, Miriam Burns, Helen Stinson.
That's Helen Stinson right there.
Right there.
That's John Cowan.
That's real good of Mr. Cowan.
That's C.C. Brees.
Anita Page is somewhere in there. Maybe that's Anita.
Mm-hmm. Now Nolan Beard will be standing there, and he'll come up in just a second. There's Nolan.
There's Nolan.
That's Clara Reason's place. And it was located, I believe, down on 5th Avenue.
I'm not sure.
Just a little off the square, not far. That's Clara. That's J.A. Harding. He was the manager of the telephone company here. Must have done some work for Clara. That's Herbert Bourne, posing again. Knowing all about how to do plumbing. I'm going to see some of this stock. He has some washing machines, but not many
Region
people
sells it. You see that sign up there? Region sells it.
Now that's Mr. Sullivan, Mr. John Sullivan, Richard Dan's father.
That's George Cox.
James Robertson. That's Dan Sullivan, Mr. Sullivan's son.
And that's Clarence Toone.
J.W. Little's Dairy. Telephone number 805.
I think that was down there about where Meacham Plumbing is right now. And that's Mr. J.W. Little Sr. That's Jumbo's father. That's a really good picture of Mr. Little.
He's talking to a state inspector. We do not know his name.
And that's Edith Little.
And that was before
Just before they got married, I think. Jumbo's sitting there flirting with it, you'll watch. There's Jumbo.
Do a little flirting there.
A little flirting.
Jumbo back there again.
He's back there doing a little work now.
That was a good machine there.
Right.
This brings back a lot of memories. That is VGA.
That's the administration building.
You notice I haven't got any screens, or air conditioning, anything. I wonder if the boys, girls now would like that. Of course, it's all the boys back there then. That's the varsity football teams. So you can see this film took all summer and fall to make. There's J.B. Aiken. There's Woody Dixon. Hello, Woody. That's the midget. That's the smallest team. They had all size teams. That's Gaston Buford.
About second from the left on the front, from the right on the front row is Dean Nichols.
That's Jack Church. Jim Barney. There's the varsity. Now, some of these on the varsity team was George Terry, Plumman Henry, John Fristow, Billy Rather,
Herbert
Crockett, yes.
And the children you'll see in just a moment riding the pony are Janice and Polly Aiken.
That's Jack Church, and that's Jimmy Jackson.
And there they are on the pony.
Sanitary dry cleaners. That's Joe Spencer.
Sadie Bell Waller.
Looks like she's having a good time.
She cute.
Joe Spencer Sr., and that is a good
picture.
Now you'll see Pug Aiken.
And Dorothy Sullivan Cameron.
Jimmy Cornell.
And I love this picture that's coming up in a little bit.
This Jackson, Harold Jackson.
Harold Jackson. Marie Brothers is coming up in just a little bit, and it's a good picture. There she is.
Mm-hmm. That is
That's good.
That's Paul Spencer. Mr. Spencer again. Now this Moody's on Main Street. Tom started the business and Ed joined him a few years later. And I believe this is the year that Ed came down. There's Tom on your right, Ed on your left. Now they sold more toys than they did tires because it was right after the war, right after World War II, and they just didn't have many tires on the market. That's good of Tom.
I think that's where I bought my daughter's bicycle.
I think that's where we bought all our toys right there then, and probably on Christmas Eve.
Probably.
Now that's Ed. That's good Ed. He looks just like his daughter.
Southside Cafe on Columbia Avenue. I think that was way up close to the railroad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just the other side of the railroad. Now that's, somebody said that's Hammerhead Dotson, Mr. and Mrs. Cordwood Lofton, and over on the right is John Hall. I think everybody remembers John Hall running for sheriff.
He's back there waving at everybody.
Yeah, no. Make it get gesture. Oh, it's a great area.
Right.
And it was a fine restaurant.
I can see why it was grade A.
Mm-hmm. Clean up.
Spotless.
See the old fan back there? The old jukebox.
And the
Was that a
jukebox.
Nickelodeon? That's Mrs. Willie North. She had Mrs. Willie North's kindergarten.
If you look closely, you'll see Bob Sewell, Mac Henry, Abner Alley, Helen Louise Hoshauser, Arthur Graff, Bitsy Blackburn, Barbara Sewell, Betty Smithson. There's Helen Louise Hoshauser, Bob Sewell, Mac Henry.
They all look so familiar.
I know. I'm sure we know most of them. And there's little Barbara Sewell and little Smithson, and that's Bob Sewell.
And this is the Presbyterian Church.
And that's Mr. and Miss Sam Fleming, Sr.
That's James Campbell back there. Now here's Francis Rice with the children being tutored on how to pose by Herbert Bowen. Aren't they cute?
Love those flowers.
Yeah, and Tandy, all of them. Isn't it great of all the children?
That's good.
Francis, you look great. Now this is the Lions Club parade, and there was George Courtney in the lead vehicle. The Lions Club had a big parade. That's the Farm Bureau. You help me catch some of these names. Now this band, that's you and Frazier back there. That band, I don't know who it is because it's not the Franklin High Band.
No.
It's just not
They're
maroon
good.
and white.
They're good.
Yeah, they're good. Must look like Springfield or something.
Maybe.
I'm sure some more people would know. See Tandy Rice in the middle there? This is Bethesda. Craigfield.
Look at the canned fruit.
I bet that was good.
Great.
Better home, better barn. That Flat Creek. Can't catch your names on some of them.
Now that's decorated.
That's Johnson. That must be Johnson Community. Yeah, there's your Franklin High Band. And they stood.
They were good back then too, weren't
Yeah.
they?
That's cute. There wasn't a lot of trouble on that. Liberty Hill. And they were great folks.
A lot of people turned out to see a parade.
Yeah, and if you look close, you see a whole lot of people you know. We just can't call them all off. That's Nolansville. Yeah, she's hiding. She must not supposed to have been downtown at that time.
You know, they're just like me. I love a parade.
That's George Stoveworks. That must have been split log, had to be. They look so familiar. Big crowd on the square.
Big turnout.
There's the Franklin High Band playing. It was a great time. Hope everybody enjoyed that as much as we've enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it.